Y'all, hold up. This might be the biggest shakeup in hip-hop we've seen in years. Word on the street, and when I say word, I mean whispers from insiders, half-deleted tweets, and cryptic IG stories is that Kendrick Lamar is about to do something nobody expected. Headlining Coachella 2026 in a surprise power play that could change the balance of the rap game forever. And let me tell you, this ain't just about a performance. This is personal. Sources say this last-minute headline isn't just a music move, it's a strategic strike aimed straight at some of the industry's biggest names. We're talking about old beefs resurfacing, record labels scrambling, and artists who thought they were safe suddenly rethinking everything. One source close to the situation said, "This ain't just Kendrick performing. This is revenge, live on stage." Now add to that the alleged secret guest list that includes one of his most controversial former collaborators, behind-the-scenes power plays, and a very messy fallout with his own inner circle. And you've got a story that's about to break the internet. Stay locked in, because what we're about to unpack might just be the moment hip-hop history splits in two. Before Coachella, and after Kendrick. So let's rewind real quick. Coachella 2026 was supposed to be a no-drama vibe at artsy desert weekend. Fans expected the usual pop acts, maybe a safe headliner or two, and some surprise cameos. But behind the scenes, it was war. The industry was moving in silence. Whispers of a ghost headliner had already started circulating weeks ago. No flyers, no leaks, nothing confirmed. And then suddenly, boom, a tweet drops. Not from Coachella, not from Kendrick, but from one of the most unpredictable voices in rap, Ab-Soul. The return begins where the silence ends. Fans went wild. Instantly, Reddit threads, X, formerly known as Twitter, and Discord servers exploded. Was he talking about Kendrick? Was it a new TDE compilation? A black hippie reunion? Or was this the long-awaited diss project people been speculating about since that whole Controlverse era? But here's where it gets crazy. 2 days after Ab-Soul's tweet, a leaked list surfaces supposedly hacked from an internal booking document. Guess whose name was listed at the very bottom in bold italics? Kendrick Lamar. And not just as a performer, but as Sunday's closing headliner. Fans were shocked. And not in a bad way. They were hype. Until they weren't. Because here's the twist, just 1 hour after the leak. Yes. Drizzy himself posts a very, very shady story on Instagram. It's just black background, white text. Some folks really love the spotlight when it's not theirs. That's when fans realized this wasn't just about music. This was about revenge, betrayal, unfinished business, and some deeply personal beef that was about to spill out on the D's. World's biggest stage. Now, let's talk about the emotional stakes. Kendrick been quiet, too quiet. No major interviews, no features, no tour appearances since that scattered European run in 2024. People assumed he was working on new material. But insiders now say he was planning something way bigger. They claim Kendrick had been negotiating this Coachella slot in secret for nearly 8 months behind the backs of some of his closest collaborators. And apparently not everyone was on board, according to someone close to the Teed camp. Kendrick felt like he had something to prove, like he got pushed out of the spotlight for too long. The Grammys overlooked him. The blogs moved on. Even his own team started betting on other artists. So he said, fine, I'll remind the world. But what really pushed him over the edge? Well, sources say it was a betrayal from someone very close. And when we say close, we mean family level. One rumor points to Kendrick's former manager, Dave Freenow, co-founder of PH Clang, who's allegedly been quietly pushing Baby Keem to take over as the new face of West Coast lyricism. Keem's got that new energy, the insider says. The labels are eating him up. Kendrick saw the writing on the wall. Even Pidgeling started acting like Keem was the headliner now. So what does Kendrick do? He plays chess. Not checkers. He bypasses Pidgeling, goes straight to Coachella's private investors, and strikes a deal that nobody in his own camp knew about. When the news hit, Eva's inner circle was left reeling. "We found out when y'all did." Another source close to Kendrick says, phones were blowing up. People were crying, yelling. It was like a funeral and a birthday at the same time. And let's talk about the fans. Emotions ran high. Half the internet was celebrating like the king was back. The other half, calling it a publicity stunt. The division was deep. Some said it was pure genius. Others said it was selfish, even desperate. But then came the bombshell. Just 3 days after the leak, a private phone call between Kendrick and Schoolboy Q gets leaked, allegedly recorded during a heated argument. And it was messy. We don't know who recorded it, but the audio had them going off. Kendrick's voice comes in first. "Y'all left me out. Y'all acted like I didn't build this. Like I didn't carry this whole damn coast for a decade." Then Q fires back. "Nah, you left us, Kenny. We held it down while you ghosted. We had to eat, too." Silence. Then Kendrick's voice again, colder this time. "So now I'm the villain." Fine. Watch what happens next. Fans were stunned. This wasn't just music anymore. This was brotherhood crumbling in real time. And just like that, the hip-hop community split into factions. Team Kendrick, Team Teed, Team PG Long. Everyone had an opinion. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, Coachella organizers were reportedly panicking. Why? Because other big artists rumored to be Tyler, the Creator, and Doja Cat were threatening to pull out if the drama escalated further. One insider from the Coachella team said, "We wanted a celebration of culture, not a war zone. Now we're dealing with egos, hacked emails, and NDA violations. It's chaos." But Kendrick is unfazed. Instead of issuing a statement, he posts a single photo on his Instagram. It's him alone in a dimly lit studio. No caption, just the image. Fans start decoding it like it's a hieroglyphic dot. Some think it's from his old Compton spot. Others believe it's a new recording setup in Morocco, where he was rumored to be writing his final album. But either way, the message was clear. He's working. And he's serious. And then, just when things couldn't get more heated, Absol drops another post. A video clip this time. Just him in a car, camera close up to his face. And all he says is, "Y'all thought this was just about music?" QMass hysteria. Fans now believe this entire rollout is tied to a long-form visual album, or even a documentary expose about the real behind-the-scenes politics of rap. Like a surviving the industry type series. Raw, unfiltered. And from Kendrick's point of view, unfiltered. And from Kendrick's point of view, and according to 2 separate sources, this isn't just a performance. It's a full-blown, multi-layered event. A show that's going to feature live visuals, poetry, interludes, unreleased music, and possibly one explosive final diss track aimed at multiple heavyweights, including Drake, J. Cole, and yes, even Baby Keem. But here's where the personal stakes get even deeper. Someone very close to Kendrick, his cousin, who remained unnamed, told an underground podcast that Kendrick's been dealing with betrayal within his own family. The podcast episode, which has since been deleted, hinted at financial disputes, contract manipulation, and someone allegedly leaking Kendrick's location to paparazzi during his hiatus. Fans were stunned. Could this be why Kendrick disappeared so long? Was it deeper than music politics? Was the Coachella performance actually a statement of survival? And just when people started piecing that together, a mysterious countdown appeared on the PG Long website. No text, no logos. Just numbers slowly ticking down to the Coachella weekend. Fans started screen recording, zooming in, analyzing the code. Some said it spelled out rebirth. Others said revolt. Whatever it meant, it was clear. Something big was coming. And the final clue? A voice memo leaked from someone who allegedly works in the Coachella production team. In the background, you hear a voice that sounds like Kendrick, rehearsing a new verse over haunting strings. The lyrics, raw, unfiltered, full of rage and resolve. One line stood out. "They tried to bury me silent. Now I'm the riot they sold out. That's when the internet broke. The internet broke, and then it rebuilt itself. Just to break again? Because the moment that haunting voice memo started circulating, fan theories spun out of control. People weren't just excited anymore, they were obsessed. Timelines turned into war zones. Stan accounts turned into private investigators. People started connecting dots that weren't even dots. It was giving conspiracy documentary energy. But here's the part nobody expected. What happened inside Kendrick's own circle after that leak? Because that voice memo wasn't just any rehearsal. It was recorded during a private sound check one that was supposed to be locked down under triple NDA. Someone from the inside had clearly betrayed him. Again, and this time, the betrayal hit even harder. A source close to Kendrick's camp said he was furious. Not yelling, not screaming, just quiet. And if you know Kendrick, you know that's worse. When K-Dot stops talking, the source said, that's when you know something's about to explode. What followed was a full shutdown. Phones went off. Team members were removed. Even some close PG Long collaborators were reportedly iced out. It wasn't just about control anymore. This was about trust. And according to that same source, Kendrick told his inner circle word for word, I'm not here to perform. I'm here to expose. Now, while all this was happening behind closed doors, the public drama was catching fire. Remember that shady Instagram story Drake posted earlier? Well, apparently that wasn't the end of it. Just 5 days before Coachella, a mysterious snippet drops on a burner account. Some believe it was from a member of OVO. The track is low quality, distorted, but you can hear someone rapping in a familiar tone. The king lost his crown when he ghosted his kingdom. Purr. He popped back like he missed some attention. The internet went nuclear. Was this Drake taking another shot at Kendrick? Was this the beginning of a new diss war? Some fans called it weak. Others said Drake was just warming up. Either way, the fire was lit. And guess who decided to jump into the chaos? J-Rock.Eep, another member of the Black Hippie crew. And he wasn't subtle either. During a surprise appearance at a small Los Angeles pop-up show, J-Rock grabbed the mic and said, some people let ego kill legacies. Not me. I still ride for the real. The crowd went wild. And of course, phones were out streaming everything. That clip hit social media within minutes. And fans were now asking the real question, is Black Hippie officially broken? Because here's the sad truth. While Kendrick's Coachella move was bold, it was also isolating. He wasn't just battling the industry now. He was standing against the very people he built with. And yet, Kendrick didn't flinch. He disappeared again. No posts, no statements, no appearances. But behind the scenes, he was rehearsing obsessively. We're talking 10-hour sessions, full theatrical production, multiple costume changes, and a visual concept that reportedly left even the Coachella producers speechless. And then came the bombshell that flipped everything on its head. A leaked screenshot of a private Coachella guest pass list went viral. At the top of the list, not just Kendrick, but also J. Cole. Fans lost their minds because this changed everything. Remember, Cole and Kendrick been dancing around a collab for years, always hinting, never confirming. And just when people thought they'd drifted too far apart, this shows up. Was J. Cole really about to appear on stage with Kendrick? Was this beef deeper than we thought, or was it a long play misdirection? Well, here's the gag. J. Cole's camp didn't even know about it. His manager, Hamad, jumped on X immediately and tweeted, Cap, Cole got no involvement in that. Stop the games. But fans weren't buying it. Not with everything else going down. One Reddit user even pointed out that Cole had suddenly canceled a studio session scheduled the same weekend as Kendrick's set. Another posted flight tracker data showing a jet registered under Dreamville's logistics firm heading toward Palm Springs. And then, oh man, the emotional twist no one saw coming. Out of nowhere, a video drops. Not from Kendrick, not from Pig Long, but from Baby Keem, and it's not music. It's a vlog. In the video, Keem looks dead in the camera and says, "Everybody wants to make this a movie. But this is real life. And sometimes real life hurts." He goes on to say he feels used, misrepresented, and that the people hyping up this drama are the same ones who were silent when Kendrick was at his. Lois. The internet went quiet for a second. Because if Keem is hurt, that means this isn't just strategic beef. This is family drama. Real pain, real confusion. Fans began speculating, did Kendrick use his own cousin for hype? Or was Keem being manipulated by others? Meanwhile, industry insiders started digging deeper, and that's when they found it. The paperwork. A deal between Kendrick's personal production company and a major streaming platform, allegedly signed 6 months ago. And guess what it includes? Exclusive rights to film and release the entire Coachella performance, plus a 6-part documentary titled The Fall and Rise of K. Now everybody was shook. Was this Kendrick's plan all along? To create the biggest musical moment of the decade, film it, turn it into a documentary, and leave the game on his own terms. According to a former Teed producer, this was Kendrick's last act. They claim he's walking away from live performances after this. That Coachella is his grand finale. And every move, every leak, every diss, every silence was part of the rollout. But not everyone's on board. Word is, Top Dog himself, the founder of TEH, tried to block the release of the documentary. He reportedly threatened legal action if certain footage from early Teed days made it in. One source said Top feels betrayed, like Kendrick's rewriting history and leaving everyone else out. But Kendrick, still no statement. Just another cryptic move. This time, a billboard. Yep, a giant all-black billboard went up overnight in Los Angeles. No words, just the numbers. 3.2.1. Just the numbers. 3.2.1. Fans started counting down. What happens at 0? Another track. A surprise film drop. A new album? But others are asking the harder question. Has Kendrick gone too far? Because while the hype is undeniable, the damage is real. Friendships burned. Family tensions aired out. Old wounds reopened. And the entire hip-hop community now holding its breath. And with only 4 days left until Coachella, the drama is nowhere near over. 4 days left. That was the countdown. 4 days until Kendrick Lamar took the Coachella stage. 4 days until the world saw what all this silence, tension, and betrayal had been building toward. But let's be real. At this point, it wasn't just about music anymore. It was about truth. And people wanted answers. Meanwhile, that cryptic billboard in Los Angeles, the one with just 3.2.1. double quotes on it, it switched overnight. The numbers disappeared, replaced by one phrase. I told you I'd speak when they couldn't ignore me. Fans lost their minds. The theories got deeper. Now some believed Kendrick wasn't just responding to his rivals. He was calling out the entire industry. The silence of the Grammy committees. The sudden surge of mainstream drill rap. The corporate chokehold on artistic freedom. Kendrick, in their eyes, was becoming less a rapper and more a revolutionary. And then came the slap that nobody expected. Not a literal slap, but something worse. TDE. Unfollowed Kendrick on every platform, every single one. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, even the label removed Kendrick from their featured artists page. No explanation. No statement. Just erasure. It was a move that shocked fans and insiders alike. Some called it petty. Others called it symbolic. But one thing was clear, it was the final nail in the coffin. The Kendrick and Teed chapter was officially over. And the internet felt it like a heartbreak. The reactions were intense. This is worse than when Beyoncé dropped Lemonade outta nowhere. One fan posted on X, "This is pain. This is betrayal. This is history being torn apart." Others blamed Kendrick, saying he abandoned the house he helped build. The Teed loyalists were vocal, posting old clips of Schoolboy Q, Sha and Kendrick laughing together, performing together, creating timeless energy. One comment hit different. Kendrick didn't just burn the bridge. He filmed it and sold it to Netflix. But wait, it gets deeper, because the very next day, a low-resolution clip surfaces online. It's grainy. Looks like security cam footage. And it shows what appears to be Kendrick Lamar arguing face-to-face with Dave Free outside a private studio in Culver City. No audio. Just body language. Kendrick's arms are moving. Dave points at him, then turns to leave. Kendrick grabs his shoulder, pulls him back. More words. More pointing. Then Dave walks away, gets in a black SUV, and leaves. Boom! Internet explosion. At this point, people started saying this was no longer a rollout. It was a breakdown. Fans began worrying. Was Kendrick okay? Was this the result of too much pressure? Or had he really cut ties with everyone? And while that storm raged, someone else quietly entered the chat. Rihanna. Rihanna. She hadn't posted anything about Kendrick. Not a tweet. Not a story. Not even a like. But her Fenty team announced a surprise fashion film premiere, set to air the exact same night as Kendrick's Coachella set. And guess what? One of the rumored musical collaborators on the project. Drake. Fans were stunned. People were like, wait a minute, is this coincidence or calculated? It felt like pressure, like everyone in the industry was trying to either distract from Kendrick's moment or deliberately overshadow it. And Kendrick, still silent, but the streets were talking. In South Central, murals of Kendrick started popping up overnight, some showing him with a crown, others showing him on fire. Literally. One local artist said, "We don't care about the drama. He's still our voice, our pain, our truth. He might be messy right now, but he's one of us." And that's when the emotional twist kicked back in. On the second night before Coachella, a voice memo leaked, this one from someone deep in Kendrick's personal circle. A woman, soft voice, emotional, trembling. She says, "I've never seen him like this. He's not sleeping. He's not eating. He's locked in. Not in a dangerous way, in a spiritual way. Like he's channeling something. Like this ain't even about him anymore." Fans were heartbroken. The drama was fun. The mystery was thrilling. But now, this felt real, heavy, raw. And then Coachella released the official performance schedule. There, it was. Sunday night to 9:45 p.m., Kendrick Lamar. The final hour. What the final hour? Well, though. The final hour. That title alone sent shockwaves. Was this symbolic? Was he retiring? Was he about to drop his last project live? Within minutes, PG Long's website updated again. This time, the timer was gone. Instead, a single image. A desert, a microphone in the sand. And in the corner, Chapter 0. Now, even the bloggers were lost. What does Chapter 0 mean? Is this the start of something or the end? And then, because of course more fuel got added to the fire, Top Dog posted an Instagram story. It was just one line. "If you turn your back on the village, don't cry when the drums stop playing." The caption? None. No tags. But we all knew who it was aimed at. And while that was stewing, fans at Coachella started posting photos of the main stage being transformed. Massive black sheets. Smoke cannons. Drone rigs. It didn't look like a typical set. It looked like a movie set. Someone even claimed they saw Hiro Murathe, director who did Childish Gambino's This Is America, on site with a headset. And then, the most insane twist yet. A former Coachella executive did a live podcast interview and casually mentioned something that dropped jaws. He said, "Kendrick's team reserved the airspace above the festival for 30 minutes after his set. I've never seen that before. It's like they're planning something in the sky." Double quotes, bro. That was it. Fans started saying this isn't a concert. This is a cinematic experience. Maybe even a farewell. People were now comparing it to Prince's final shows, Bowie's last album. The kind of legendary moment where artists speak beyond music. And while all that hype surged online, Kendrick's verified Spotify page suddenly went black. No profile picture. No banner. Just an eerie silence, and then the song appeared. Unlisted, no promo. Just one track. Title. The silence between Kings. Fans streamed it like mad. It was 6 minutes. Dark, poetic, layered. Half rap, half spoken word. There was a section that really stood out. I walked alone in gold shoes till the souls bled truth. Watched brothers turn cold when the throne needed proof. And now I stand not as king but as storm. Let the fire begin. They wanted smoke. Consider it sworn. Twitter exploded. The music blogs scrambled. People cried. Real tears. And that's where we are now, 24 hours away from Coachella. And the only thing more uncertain than what Kendrick will do is what it'll leave behind when it's over. Sunday, 9:45 p.m. Coachella. The final hour. Nobody blinked. Nobody scrolled. Nobody breathed. The desert was electric. Fans packed around the main stage, shoulder to shoulder, phones shaking in their hands. The stage was blacked out, draped in thick curtains. The crowd was dead silent, like they were at a funeral and a coronation at the same time. And then it began. A single spotlight hit the center of the stage. The curtains dropped. No dancers. No visuals. No pyro. Just Kendrick Lamar sitting alone on a wooden chair, dressed in all white, barefoot, a Bible in one hand, and a burned-out mic stand in the other. The crowd lost it. He didn't speak. He didn't move. He just stared out for 30 full seconds. And then the beat dropped. Not just any beat. It was the control beat. Slowed down, warped, darker, but unmistakable, and Kendrick Lamar exploded into a never-before-heard verse that shook the ground under Coachella's feet. He was naming names, not hinting, not implying. Full names, full bar attacks, no filter, and the crowd. They weren't ready. Fans screamed, cried. Some were dead silent, just frozen. One bar had everybody grabbing their heads. They crowned you king when the king took a break. I came back and found rats in my place. They fed off the silence. Now choke on the smoke. I ain't bitter. Just built from a different stroke. And then the screen behind him lit up. The desert night sky turned into a timeline, a massive digital history of Kendrick's career. Album covers faded in and out. News clips played, tweets, old interview footage. His childhood house, Compton, protests, Ferguson, George Floyd. The Trump era. The pandemic. The silence. It wasn't a concert anymore. It was a funeral for everything fake in the game. Midway through the set, he performed a spoken word piece that brought people to tears, raw, personal, reflective, talking about his doubts, his depression, his absence, and why he chose to disappear when the world demanded his voice. And then, the twist nobody saw coming. As he finished that poem, a figure slowly walked onto the stage, hoodie up, head down. The crowd didn't recognize him at first, until Kendrick turned, hugged him, and whispered something in his ear. The figure pulled the hoodie back. It was J. Cole. Yes, J. Cole. The crowd went absolutely feral. People were screaming like they were watching Tupac resurrect. And what happened next? Even crazier. No performance. No rapping. No verse. J. Cole walked to the front of the stage, grabbed a second mic, and said, "We not here to perform. We here to heal." He looked over at Kendrick. It took too long. But real recognize real. And this man's heart. Been in the right place from the jump. The industry tried to split us. Y'all tried to write our stories. Now we write an M together. Then Cole walked off. No music, no drama. Just that. Kendrick stood there, silent again. The crowd was stunned. And that's when the real fireworks began. Literally, a full drone show lit up the Coachella sky. But this wasn't just any light show, was a story. Drones shaped into broken chains, morphing into doves, morphing into pages of a book flying open. On the screen, one final message appeared in bright white letters. Chapter 1. Silence ends tonight. And that's when the new music started. Kendrick performed an entire unreleased album live, front to back. 14 tracks, unreleased, raw, untitled, unheard, and every track was connected to a different chapter of his life. Each song was a confession, a declaration, or a direct response to the industry, his rivals, and even himself. But here's the wild part. During one of the final songs, a track fans are now calling Blood on the Contract, he played actual voice messages from his past. Old voicemails from Top Dog, Dave Free, Baby Keem, even Abyssal. Some were loving. Others were tense. A few sounded like desperate pleas. And then one final audio clip played. Kendrick's own voice. If I disappear again, just know it's not silence, it's strategy. I'm not done. I'm just becoming. The music stopped. The lights dimmed. The stage went dark, and just when everyone thought it was over, a final guest walked out. Not a rapper. Not a singer. It was his mother. The crowd gasped. She walked slowly onto stage, tears in her eyes. She held up a framed photo of Kendrick as a kid, then, in a trembling voice, she said, "My son told the truth when the world paid to hear lies. I don't know what comes next, but I know his soul is clean." And with that, the stage went completely black. 10 seconds of silence. Then fireworks exploded into the night. And just like that, it was done. But the aftermath. Oh, it's only just beginning. Fans immediately took 2X, TikTok, and YouTube. Some calling it the greatest Coachella set of all time. Others debating if this was Kendrick's retirement or the start of a brand new era. Within hours, snippets of the new music hit streaming. Pajilong updated their site again, this time with a sign-up page titled "The Rebuild Begins Here." Nobody knows what it means. Merch, a documentary, a new label. And here's the biggest twist of all. Drake went live on Instagram the next morning. Just him. No music, no filter. He looked straight at the camera and said, "The performance was beautiful. But if you think this ends here, you ain't heard the last of me." Double quotes. So now the game is wide open again. Kendrick didn't just perform, he flipped the table. He exposed industry games, reconciled with Cole, drew a line in the sand between family and fake. And whether it was a goodbye or a rebirth, one thing is certain, hip-hop will never be the same again. And now the only question is, what happens next? And that's exactly what we break down in the final segment. And just like that, the dust settles in the desert. But the smoke still lingers. Kendrick Lamar didn't just headline Coachella, he redefined it. No backup dancers, no flashy gimmicks. Just truth, pain, legacy, and a warning. He burned bridges, mended fences, and walked straight through the fire with the whole world watching. And what did he leave us with? Questions. Is this really the end of Kendrick's live career? Is Chapter 0 the start of a new label? A film? Or something none of us saw coming? What happens to Teed now that the family's split? And how deep does the beef with Drake, Baby Keem, and the industry elite really go? Some say he closed a chapter. Others say he just opened a whole new book. But one thing is crystal clear. Hip-hop is at a turning point. And y'all, we're not watching from the sidelines anymore. We're inside the story now. So tell us what you think. Was Kendrick's performance legendary? Or was it low-key selfish? Did he heal old wounds? Or make new enemies? Was this a cultural reset? Or the start of something darker? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear everything. No filter, no cap. And if you're locked in like we are, make sure you like this video. Subscribe to the channel and hit that bell so you never miss a drop. Because the next twist, it's coming faster than we think. This is your favorite rap drama plug, signing out. But you already know we'll be back when the silence breaks again. Stay tuned. Silence breaks again. Stay tuned.